Well, welcome to this new video from Alibre Design. Some time ago on the Alibre forum, in the tutorials and tips for the community section, I posted a tutorial of sorts for creating a twisted flat bar in Alibre. So what I thought I'd do today is expand on this a little bit to kind of add to it, bring it up to date, whatever. And so this is still available out there if anybody wants to download it from the tips and tricks section. But what I'm going to do today is kind of take it to another level and add some parameters, or show how to add parameters to it, and go from a flat bar stock and add a couple of different features to make it maybe a little more usable, or useful rather. So let me start a sketch here on the ZX plane, and I'm going to do a rectangle, and let me orient the sketch, and I'm going to, rather than using the rectangle by center, I'm going to use the regular rectangle so that those that don't have rectangle by center can create the same kind of tool or features. So I'm going to use the midline constraint here, demonstrated by Ex Machina on several of his videos. So I go to select 2 points and then the midpoint on corners of the square rectangle. Now everything is constrained about the origin of this sketch. So the next thing I want to do is add some dimensions here. And here I'll just make this a 1-inch square. And while I'm at it, I'm going to click on the equation editor button, and I'm going to name these parameters. So this will be the bar width, and we'll okay that. And then this will be 1 inch, and I'll name this one the bar height. Okay, and we'll okay that. So now we have our square and we have our parameters named. So now we'll go to extrude, click on the extrusion button, and we'll accept the default value of 5 inches. I'll click on the equation editor button, and here I'll name this one the end height. End HT for height, and okay that, and okay that. So now this whole thing is driven by named equations that if we need to, we can come back in here and change these values to whatever we want. And while we're at it, we'll just select these here as our favorites. So now the next thing is going to create a sketch on this end face. Right click and select activate sketch. And again, we'll grab a rectangle, and this time we're only going to do half of the square. So we'll select a midpoint constraint from this line to the origin, and then we're going to collect a collinear constraint from this line to this edge, and from this line to this edge, and that fully constrains our sketch to the end face of this extrusion. Next thing to do is bring up our helical boss tool. First thing we want to do is replace this reference line with the y-axis, and we're going to change our height and pitch to height and revolutions. So for height, let's give this a height of 6 and revolutions 0.25. So we're only going to give this a quarter turn twist. And again, we'll name these parameters. So on height, we'll click on the equation editor button, and we'll name this one twist height, and select that as a favorite. And then on revolutions, select on this one, and we'll just name this one revolutions, REV, and select that for favorites, and okay that. Now what we want to do is select this helical boss feature, click on circular pattern, and then change the value or instances to 2. And for the center, we want to select our y-axis again. So now our part is patterned around our y-axis, and we'll click OK. So now we have a bar that comes up for 5 inches, and we're twisting it a quarter turn for the length of our helical boss height. The next thing we're going to do is going to sketch on this end face, right click and select end, start a sketch. Now here we're going to do project to sketch, and we're going to go back to sketch 1 and select that from our first extrusion. We're going to maintain the figure type, and we're going to maintain association to the source. Click OK and extrude that, accept the default, but click on the equation editor button, and here we want to come down to select our end height parameter that we named for the first one, for the first extrusion. Click OK and click OK, and now we have our the length of our two end parts linked together. Now if we measure the total length of our part here, we have a part that is 16 inches. So what happens now if we want to design a part here with a known number of twists but a given length? So we need to add another parameter in here. So we need to have a total length parameter. So we click on our button up here to add a new equation, and here we'll just put in a length, name it length, and say we name this 20, and click apply and OK that, and we'll select that as a favorite, and we'll just hit favorite so we group them all together. So now we have to calculate what our total, in order to get our total length, we know what our end heights are. We have a length in here for our twist height, but that's going to vary along with our ends so that we end up with our height of 20 inches. So in our twist height, we'll change this to a new equation. So we change this to be equal to our length minus, and then we'll put in parentheses 2 times end height, and close parentheses and hit tab, and now that's updated to a new length. So we end up with our, and we'll click OK, and now our part has updated to a total length of 20 inches. Our ends are still 5 inches, and our midsection and the twist height is 10. So if we come in here now in our equation editor and say we need to change our length of our end height, so we only need that to be 2 inches, and we want our full length to be 12. All right, change our parameters, hit update or OK, and we'll measure our total length here is 12 inches, and our ends are 2 inches on each end. And say quarter inch for this, say we want to change this into something more decorative. Twist height isn't going to really work that well for us, because as we change our length, say we want our twist now to be a full twist or a half twist. So let's go to 0.5 for our revolutions. Okay, but if we want our full length to be something like 24 and our end lengths to be 3, well, the visual on our twist length now has changed. If we want this to be a constant twist, we need to use, rather than revolutions, we need to use a parameter called height and pitch for this, so that our pitch is constant no matter what our height is. So here's a model that I have that's got a height and a revolutions. Instead of revolutions, I've got a pitch parameter in here, so that my full length of 16 inches, I've got a pitch of 6. So no matter what I change my length to, so if I change this to say 12, it changes the length, but the pitch stayed the same. One thing you need to be careful of, though, is that when you change lengths and assign a pitch, you want to make sure that your ends turn out the same. So you need to be careful on what you use for a length and a pitch, so that these always work out to equal this, so that you get a full twist or a half twist, whatever your results are going to be here. So here, let me get back in here to equation editor. So our end length is going to be 2. We've got a full length of 24, and okay that. So our pitch here, our full length is 20, or the twist length is 20. We need this to work out so that we end up with a multiple of our pitch, so that it comes around so that it's a full twist or a quarter of our twist. So in this case, let's see if we want so now change our end length, and our twist length is going to be 1, 2, 3 turns there. So a pitch of 6 times 3 is going to be 18 inches. So that worked out so that our pitch ends up being, our ends are aligned. So if we look at the end view, look at our top section, it looks fine. And our bottom is square to the world too. So you got to be careful when you're setting your length and using pitch. Make sure that you adjust your pitch so that your number of turns comes out, so that your top and bottom sections end up being aligned. Okay, so that covers using pitch. Now one more thing I have here is a twisted bar. It's kind of going back to using the twist length again, but this one has got a parameter for the twist height, and I'm using the twist of 1/4 on here again. So my revolutions is 1/4. But in this case, I've got this set up so that my length, and rather than full length, I'm measuring from the center of the hole to center of hole. So in this case, what I've done on my twist height is I've got my length minus 2 times my end length minus my fillet radius. And my fillet radius is set up to equal my bar width divided by 2. So I always end up with a full round fillet on here. So no matter what I change my length to, say I'm going to 6 inches, I still have a 1/4 turn twist, but my hole-to-hole length is 6 inches. So that's a way to control the length from a hole-to-hole parameter. So now I've got one more part here to look at. Say you're designing stair rail spindles, and you want to put this twisted rope feature in here. Well, in this case, what I've got, let me roll that. So the sketch on my helical boss is actually a circle. And the one thing you want to make sure that you do is define the location of your circle so that it does not cross the rotation axis. So you can either do that with dimensions or draw a line in here at 45 degrees and control it that way. So I've got this dimension so that it's going to be inside the boundary of the square boss on the bottom. And then it is rotated around the axis, and the pattern also is around the axis. And then on the top end, I've got this sketch. I'm sketching on this end face, but again, I'm projecting the square profile of sketch 1 from extrusion 1. And again, those are all linked together so that the top and bottom extrusions are the same. And then what I've done is added some additional features so that I can fill in the bottom. I've got a little bit of a taper up, fill it in, and then I trim off the outside here so that it's like blended in, and then I just mirror that to the top. So I've got a full length spindle with a rope, twisted rope feature on here. And again, on the parameter side, I've got my twist pitch, got my twist height is parameterized so that I'm subtracting my total length of 26 minus my ends, so I know what my twist helical distance is, and that controls the parameters of my part. So that's another way you can using a twist feature in your design work. So one more thing that I'd like to just point out, I came across this, I actually stumbled on it as I'm working on this example. When you come in here and you change your color of your part, so you change this to whatever color you want this to be, and you click OK, and then you come back here and you click OK, it's going to update your part color. But if you select this Make Default button, you get this message here that says the default colors were set for new parts. So now, whatever you selected for this part, that's going to be the color for all of your new parts. So if you're making a series of parts you want to be all of a certain color, you can reset your default color to something new and create all your new parts. And then at some point, if you need to or want, come back in here and select a gray color for your parts and reset everything to gray again if that's what you want. So anyway, hope this all helps you when you're designing parts with twists in them, and we'll see you in the next video.